I've got blueprints of our house along with the contract from the GC. And it shows it at right at 1,409 square feet or 14, it's a little over 1,400 square feet. I think with the incorrect square footage, it increased the value.
Speaking of Mike,
I think with the increased square footage, it shows the value as too high. Another thing I wanted to talk about was I provided a tax card for my neighbor, Mr. Carver at 115. I didn't know what the type of land code was, the ACWRES. I don't know if that's like an easement, but the last page of the documents, I have our site plan that was in all the deeds for our subdivision and shows the easement is on our property. I've also provided pictures of our house compared to Mr. Carver's. They're approximately the same size, three bedrooms. Ours is approximately 50 square feet or less difference than his. And I think his value was at like 427, where ours is almost 450. And he also has quite a bit more land than us. I think he has like 1.1 acres and we have 3/4 of an acre.
have you had a conversation with the tax office?
I did the appeal online and sent this stuff in and talked to Mickey downstairs.
Mhm.
And she told me to just wait for the appeal, but I hadn't spoke to anyone except for today, other than the stuff I submitted online in the first.
But we got a discrepancy in the
Square footage?
square footage.
We did reach out via email on December 2nd. However, we did not hear anything from Mr. Lawson. This is the first time we are viewing this evidence he's provided. We'd be glad to take a look and reconcile the differences in square footage, as well as the easement possibility. Upon our review, however, we'd like to take this back to the office and do our due diligence.
Could you have this done in a week by any chance for our next?
I would think.
So could we table this to next Monday or Tuesday?
Whatever our next meeting is.
Monday or Tuesday?
When's our next meeting?
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
15th and the 17th. Next Monday.
So get with the tax office.
Okay.
And y'all communicate and let them do their job and hopefully y'all can get it resolved where you won't have to come back.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Would you like to hold these until you come back, just in case if you don't come back?
Yeah, give them back to me.
Yeah. What's his name?
Here.
Mr. Lawson.
Mr. Lawson. Yeah, you take these back.
Yeah, bring back.
Yeah, just give them gentlemen one of what you
Okay.
gave us and you correspond with them, because if you don't have to come back, then we don't need them. All right. Make sure you get him one of them copies.
Yes, sir.
You got a copy for your record, right?
Do Ms. Parrish got one? Do you have one too?
They have a copy.
Okay.
All right. Next one is James Reese here. Okay. Michael Coggill here.
Number 4 won't hit.
Then we're just gonna continue on and when we get through the end of them,
No, I was saying, did you do number 4?
I did number 4, number 5, yeah.
4 and 5.
Jeffrey Wade, Angela Wade,
Not here.
Mr. Breedlove.
Is he here?
Yes, he's here. Case number 8.
Good evening. Morning. Robert Breedlove. The property in question that talking about is on Montgomery Street. And the property has a creek running under it. And I've spoken with Jeremy about this and we've got no way of proving that there's a creek there, but I know it's there. And he thinks there's one there. And that's all I got,
Is the lot buildable?
sir.
I know there was some question in here whether or not the lot was buildable.
I don't know. I mean, I do know that others in the city have had problems building on lots with creek running under them.
So it's just pipe.
And, yeah, the creek was filled in and it's about a 3 or 4 inch pipe. And I'm just going on memory. I just got no way to prove it's there.
Okay.
And the backside of the property stays wet, swampy. There was a spring feeding that creek about 100 yards on behind my property.
Okay. So were you guys aware of the creek underneath the property?
I can't confirm 100%, but I think there is one out there. And the real issue is where the creek runs. The way that it looks on GIS, there's a large section of hedgerow that I think was planted on top of where the old creek ran. But across the road, you see on the GIS map, was a gap between parcels. And I suspect that gap was originally creek. When you draw a straight line from the hedgerow back, there's a disturbance in the woods or something, there's clearing back into the woods, get into the swampy land behind. Everything to me says that at one time it was indeed a creek, and I have no reason to disbelieve the story. So I think that there was one out there at one time. Well, where did it run? And my best estimate, if you follow that line from that hedgerow into that line, kind of where that gap is on GIS. It would run between the two parcels, with Mr. Greenlove's being slightly higher elevated and the neighbor on the other side being slightly lower elevated. So I don't know that I can determine that that's from here the use of Mr. Greenlove's property. But this time I got it down as built. I reached out to the city, spoke with Fort Williams to see if they had any documents that would be helpful. They don't know of any reason it could not be buildable. But I agree that there was a creek out there. All the evidence seems to point that way. It's just that my take is that probably running just beside it, and since it's slightly uphill, it's not impacted. But that's just what I can see. I don't know that for certain.
Do you know where the creek went? Before?
Sir?
Do you know where the creek was before?
Yeah, the creek started just off the edge of the parking lot of the old Springdale swimming pool. And it ran right through the middle of the property down toward Montgomery Street. And the lot that I'm speaking of is, this creek runs through the property, right, the edge of the property.
So in your opinion, is the lot non-buildable?
I wouldn't, because it stays wet all the time. It's swamp.
So if you were classified as a non-buildable lot, how would the value adjust?
Look, in just 1 moment, we can do that right now.
In fact, I cut the grass, try to keep the grass cut there, and then bush hogging it with the tractor. I've gotten stuck out there several times with tractor. I mean,
Can I ask you a question? Where on Montgomery Street is this located?
it is, when you leave Clark Street, come to the bottom of the hill, and it's on the left going toward, Cherry Street, just before you get to I think it's Wester Avenue.
So it's at the corner of Montgomery and West and,
It's not on the corner, it's the lot beside the corner lot.
It's where all that greenery stuff is growing up, right on the left-hand side.
Excuse me?
It's where all that greenery and stuff is growing. There's a-
The green, those big tall bushes and stuff are behind my property.
Okay.
To answer the question, if it were not built, have a value of $1,210.
Are you okay with that value, Mr. Breedlove?
Yes, sir.
It's not been determined that it's not buildable.
So he said he knew it was a creek on it. Mr. Breedlove said he'd seen a creek on the property and he.
I used to play in that creek as a child.
But the county,
And he knows where the creek was.
Corey said he ain't, there's no documentation.
Mr. Corey hadn't been here 60 years like Mr. Breedlove had.
About, how long have you owned this property?
My father passed away 3 years ago and I've owned it, this past October was 3 years.
And what about him?
He owned it when I was a child.
Okay, so as far as you know, has there ever been a building on the property?
No,
Okay, so all the duration that your father owned it and you owned it, there's never been any kind of building
No.
or anything? Okay.
no.
The last we found, the value of that property was $6,058. Last we found.
Mm.
What is the value for unbuildable again?
Unbuildable.
Unbuildable.
1,210.
1,210.
And I guess with the square footage of 0.22, is that a large enough acre to build a structure on?
Yes.
Okay.
It could be built, if not for some other.
Okay.
For size, it could be built.
Make a motion.
I just keep it the same.
What?
Need a motion. If we're gonna go with unbuildable
I make a motion, we go unbuildable,
at $1,210,
$1,210.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay, so your new value is $1,210.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Can't build on it, okay?
I just want to make one quick comment. So at our last Board of ENR meeting, we had some citizens that were tuning in via YouTube and they couldn't hear our assessors. So moving forward, can you all come up to the microphone and speak? Okay, thank you.
Okay, next we have Mr. Hart. I think you've got, what, 12, 13?
Yes, my name is Stephen Harp, and I live at 859 US 158 Bypass, Henderson. And I guess first thing, I had some questions for the evaluator. I had a go through and see,
I have a question before you start.
yeah.
You got two sets of numbers. What is,
Oh, it might have got cut off. It's the before. The first numbers are before, and then the other one's after, like the last evaluation, the previous evaluation, and this evaluation.
so before and
Yeah. And as you can see, it's a 416% increase overall. But the square footage house was 217 Turner. And I've talked to the evaluator, showing me the back half is just a enclosed covered porch.
All right, this would be case number 11.
Yes, 217 Turner's probably back toward the back on y'all paper.
Case number 11. You said 217 Turner,
Yeah, 217.
okay? And your concern on that one?
The square footage, the back, and it had been like that, but I hadn't noticed it. But the back right there, if you start at the front right corner and go back, you'll see that little 2-foot offset. Straight across there is the enclosed, like a back porch,
Okay.
non-heated.
So that's not heated. So how many square foot adjustment is that?
I didn't figure out the square footage, but well, the new square footage is 1296, but they got 1752. Should be the 1296.
So wait a minute, are we looking
And,
at 217?
we're looking at case number 11, 217 Turner Avenue.
Okay, so we skipped 9 and 10.
That's just where he
That's what
landed at.
he's doing.
Yeah, I just want to hit them first, the main square footage discrepancy.
So that's just a square footage adjustment there.
You said yours was 12 and theirs was 17?
Yeah, what I got figured is, 1296, and it was 1752.
So they got you down for 12, but you saying it's 17?
No, they got me for 1752, and I'm saying it's 1296.
Okay, hold on. 1296.
You guys working on that?
Board did reach out. We have not heard anything from Mr. Harper.
Yeah, well, the first time I called up to the office, and they said that they were no longer having meetings at this point. I'd have to come here. And they sent me an email, maybe the email with your comparables and all on was what, maybe a week ago? Week, 2 weeks ago?
Yes, he had
Yeah.
reached out on November 19th, 20th.
Well, he did reach out November 19th, sorry. November 19th, November 20th, and December 4th to Mr. Harper. With no response back.
They sent out an email and it was over the holidays and all. I didn't get back to them.
All right.
It had been that long, so I figured it wouldn't hurt just to wait to come here.
If we've got a square footage discrepancy, we probably want to go back and get that validated.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I figured we're gonna have to get together and have a meeting on it and see what we can do.
So on case number 11, we want to leave that one open right now. For you to settle that discrepancy on the square footage. Is that the only concern on that property?
Yeah, that's all with that one.
Okay. What else?
But I mean, now, the price too, the tax value too, well, that's gonna change the tax value when they do the square footage. But I don't know how they got it. I don't understand how their values work, but again, we need to, I guess, get together and talk and see how that works. How they got these numbers on everything so high.
I mean, it's based on sales for the period of time of review.
Yeah, but I had comparables that were, in his email, he said that the comparables I gave him, some of them were private sales, and the email said that you can't, you're not, what did it say in
That's
your
been
email?
the standard we've used pretty much in evaluating all properties.
The
is
private sales don't count at all,
Sales have not been used
and you can't use but 2 years.
2 years.
That's right.
And then we've used sales that were market tested.
In his email, it said that private sales, it's not that they're not allowed to be used. It's
If we've
just that
got-
you're not using them, or,
If we have market sales, we use market sales. We would use private sales when there wasn't availability of market sales.
yeah, but if you don't put the whole comparable list in there, you're throwing the average off. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're picking the higher houses. And these houses hadn't been upgraded like some of your comparables have. You know, you can't take a house that's been upgraded and upfitted and compare it to one that's not.
I'll tell you what, let's go by, so we can talk in general terms all day long,
Okay.
but we need to have specific properties. And so let's just go down the list. We'll start with the first one, which is 1316 Lehman Street. That's case.
Well, let me ask you a question though. What's the average increase in the tax? From the average increase in the property value?
It depends. In the city, it was substantial, particularly on.
Was
the
it 60%,
houses like
70%?
these. Huh?
Was it 60%, 70%?
Well, the overall county was right at 70%.
And the city was what?
And the city, just depending on what area of the city, there were different
Mm.
markets, just depending on.
Yes, but see, 70% versus 416%, that's a lot of difference.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
I mean, it takes some 400s and some went the other way to make the average. I mean, that's just. But
Yeah.
overall,
I mean, this is the average on, this is what, 14 houses. I mean, and
Okay.
every one of them went up. I mean, they went up on, let's start from the beginning here.
all right, well, let's go. First one we're gonna deal with is 1316 Lehman Street, case number 9.
All right.
Okay, before you do that, I just need clarification again on what are your numbers?
That's the, before and after the previous value and this value.
If some of them not matching up, I guess we can go one by one, but I don't,
Yeah, like 205 Craig Avenue is, where we at? You want to go to 1316?
We're going to 1316 Lehman Street.
Yeah, that was previous value of 6,149. Now it's 57,463.
All right, so now what you're saying is that you don't agree with that value.
And I don't agree with that value.
So,
And on these right here, I got two houses right there side by side, 1314. And they're close to the same square footage. Maybe 1316 might be 60 or 80 square foot more. I don't know exactly. But the previous tax value on 1316 was 6,149. It went to 57,563. And they came out and done their reappraisal, and it stayed the same dollar. 1314 was 5,960 and went to 54,000. They came out, did the reappraisal, went down to 33,000. That's $23,000 difference in the houses that are identical, except for that one's 60 or 80 square foot bigger over what it was.
okay, all right, so let's go.
So what are they using to make the prices that made the square footage so much difference in two houses that are side by side?
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna deal with individual houses now, okay?
Okay.
So that we can talk specifics, okay? So
Stay on one. house.
what you're saying is, your opinion of the value at 1316 Lehman Street is $20,000. What are you basing that on?
Just the condition of the house, location it is.
Okay. All right, and do you have any comparables to validate that?
Yes, I got comps. 1316. I didn't print out all that because I didn't know if I need it, but if I have to come back and print that, we can. But these are all, no, back to, you go ahead to use the private sales comps or not? We
haven't done it.
I mean, is it illegal to use them or not? Is it not practice to use them or what?
It's not a practice we've done when we have market sales.
In a normal real estate transaction, though, do you use private sales as a CMA?
Then normally,
In a CMA?
well, I mean, in CMA, if these are investment properties, whatever, you might use some type of other analysis like rental incomes and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
To do some cash flow kind of stuff.
But these houses, to put a house on the real estate market, it's gonna have to meet a certain, like a lot of these houses have central heat, 2 bathrooms and all that. These just 1 bath, space heat, need repairs. It just ain't gonna bring what the other houses are gonna bring that's been upfitted. Now, if I take this house, like, if I was to take, well, 1316, and they got it valued at 57,000. Now, if I was to spend some money on it, it would bring it up to the 57,000.
All right, so what
But
they
in the condition it
recommended,
is, I don't feel it's worth 57,000.
They-
I mean, I've had offers on them for like 20,000, 25,000.
the recommended value that they've come out is $55,155. And
That's for what, that 1316?
yes,
So they dropped it.
they dropped it based on the fact that fireplaces were removed, I believe.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh,
Is that all you had
if
to
you're
say?
done with your defense,
Okay.
Okay, so we've got comparables here that they've provided
Mhm.
of properties. There's one comparable on South Street, one comparable on Owen Street, one comparable on Gay Street, one comparable on Zine Street.
seen this?
Yeah, I got that email.
So you got all that information?
I hadn't rode by and checked these properties out to see if they were comparable. Yeah, I got this, like I said, around the holidays, Thanksgiving, I hadn't got to it.
Mhm.
If I'd have got this, 3 or 4 months ago, I'd have had time to investigate.
So do you have, within your package, do you have anything other than just, you're showing the old tax values and the new tax values? And talking about the difference between the last one and the new one?
Yeah, at this time, I mean, the comparables I got are private sales, like, I got one, South Carolina Avenue, 10,000.
They've got private sales listed on the sheet we're looking at.
So yes or no, does private sales gonna count or is it impossible for them to count?
They're not gonna count as long as we have marketed comps. That's what we've done with everything else we've done in Vance County.
Okay, so what if, so no, private sales are not gonna count.
Not on these because we do have market comps.
So you're just picking, you're not gonna take all the comps, just the comps that
We've got comps
went through the MLS.
we've got comparables. Well, they don't even use MLS.
Mhm.
They're not allowed to use MLS.
What is, let me ask you, is sales price and tax value the same number?
Presumably, they would get close at time of evaluation. That
That
would be
leaves
the
no,
process.
no cushioning for fluctuations in the economy then?
The values are based on the value as of January 1st of 2024.
The sales value.
Sales value of the comps, and the comps that were used would have been comps that sold within the prior 2 years, prior to January 1st, or properties that were under contract at that time that closed in a reasonable amount of time after January.
Board, I think the question he's asking is about the schedule of values. The schedule of values determines the value of your home based on condition, grade, location, market area, things like that. Sales help us influence or tell us a story that we implement with the schedule of values as well as that market area, based on land and factors, really, market factors.
Okay. All right. Well, what we on 1316? On 1316, what was the, like the rating on it? What was the rating on that? Like the, I know you have, what, poor, fair, poor?
So on 1316 Lehman Street,
Yeah,
we have a quality grade of D plus and a depreciation of fair.
And what's the lowest to the highest?
We use if I'm maybe incorrect, but I believe it's D minus is the lowest quality grade, and then the lowest depreciation would be unsound, meaning that it's unlivable,
Yeah.
right? It's a hazard.
Lowest livable grade. What is that? The D minus or D plus or?
Well, condition, is it E minus? Thank you.
Is this a rental?
That's lowest.
That's quality of construction. Right,
Quality
so
of-
when we
okay.
say quality grade, it's construction quality.
Mhm.
Okay, condition is what it looks like from the outside and inside.
Just your, veneer, just the finish. What you're saying, like the
And
side and
condition-
all.
Well, condition, that's construction quality, right?
Okay.
Condition is what condition is it in,
All
right?
right.
Is it fair, poor, very poor, things like that.
Is this rental property?
Yes, sir.
How much you charge for rent for this house?
1316. We can go over that too with all of them. 1316 is, that one's 525. That's one of the higher ones. And now that's gonna make the tax amount go from 220 a year to 908. That's gonna be what, almost 2 months just for taxes.
A lot of people are having to raise their rents because of the increase in tax.
Yeah, that's what I was here for, trying to keep from doing that, because a lot of my people, they're from, they've been here their whole life, and a lot of them are older, and they retired and on a fixed income, and it's just gonna be hard for them.
Well, nothing stays the same, sir.
I understand that.
And we haven't had a tax value in over 12 and a half years. I mean, a decade and a half,
Mhm.
16 years. So this is a culture shock to everybody.
Yeah, I know that. I know you heard this over and over and over.
Well, we're gonna hear it again.
That's right.
Vance County has been undervalued for so long.
Hmm.
Now that we trying to get it compatible.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. And doubling it would hurt, but going up
Just
oh,
imagine if we've
100%.
been doing this every 4 to 5 years for the last 20 years. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be like it is today. But we done it 8, then they didn't do nothing. Then we did another 8, which is 16. Now we're doing the
Yeah.
values. So
Market changed substantially
Yeah.
in the last 8 years.
But what if you had a vendor or something? They say, oh, we're going up 400%.
just like bread. Bread was $1.07. Now you're paying $3 for the same loaf of bread.
It happened to me building houses.
Yeah.
It did go up like that.
And the question is, would you sell this house for $6,000 if you?
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. It's worth $20,000, no doubt. I mean, but $57,000, it won't ever get that. And for what I said for 57,000, yeah.
For 55, according to our
Oh,
paperwork.
okay.
So
Well,
we're tied pretty much to statute on how we do these.
yeah.
The
Well,
fact that it went up so high,
I'll
we can't just say, okay, it went up too much, we're gonna cut it back.
yeah. Well, I'd like to have a meeting with your tax man here, and we'll go over the grades and what makes the difference in them and the condition of them and all. And what
They've been emailing you, you haven't been responding.
that was a Thanksgiving holiday.
No,
Okay,
well,
okay, all of this has to be resolved. We've got, what, 2 more meetings scheduled?
that's it.
And so this would need to happen within a week
Mm.
at this point.
Golly, we got to get it rolling now.
So
You gotta get
do
it.
you guys have time available to work with him?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, it ain't gonna take but a few minutes. We'll just go over what the grades is on them and get that square. We got to meet anyway to get the square footage right on Turner,
Okay,
217.
all right. So you want to do that for all of your properties?
Yeah, I just talked to him about all these that's in here. Yeah, I'd love to talk to him. Like I said, I called about. I don't like communicating with emails back and forth because I'm not really into that.
Okay, so we're gonna reschedule you for,
I got one more with 1008 Standish has got a square footage discrepancy. Do I need to go over that or just talk
talk
to
back
him?
with them when you do that.
Okay.
So, right, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna leave all of these open. We're
That's
gonna go
good.
meet with them, look at the grades and so forth.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over his comparables too a little bit and we'll see what we got.
Then
Maybe I
we'll
can find
come
some
back.
more that ain't. Because when I did a comparables, I wasn't aware that private sales didn't count.
If you can resolve it with them, you don't have to come back.
That sounds good too.
Yeah, if you do that, we can do it with consent.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Get these back.
Kelly's gotta have it for the record because
She got one.
you want these?
Yes.
Kelly has to keep one.
Miss Kelly, do you got one?
You go back to the meeting.
And get Mr. Kelly's. Do y'all want to keep,
Okay.
Yolanda, do you want to keep that or you want to give it back?
I get to the tax office.
Oh, that's
Miss Perry, you want to keep yours and give it back? They're gonna go to the tax. office.
about to come back. I already have. That's fine. That's so much.
That's section.
I had one that went from 18 to 109.
Okay, so that concludes all of the cases that were brought before us. Someone was here. We have Reese, case number 4. We have Cargill, case number 5. And Jeffrey Wade, case number 7. Those cases, there's no one here to speak on them. So what will be the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion, we accept the tax recommendations for those particular cases you just called out. Which is,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have our consent agenda. There were 135 on the consent agenda.
I put in a motion to approve the consent agenda.
You pull one out. All right, which one is that?
What did she say?
Is one of these in the consent agenda that called after they printed the agenda?
Yeah, we can say which one was.
Horace Taylor, 225 Dabney Heights, case number 116.
16.
So what we would move is we'd move for approval of the consent agenda with the exception of number 116.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda with the exception of number 116, Horace Taylor, Dabney Heights Lane.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion?
Why is he being pulled out?
Because he called after the agenda was printed
Okay, okay.
and wanted to
Okay.
have a conversation. So, all right. So any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And the
So-
first one, would that be put on the next, one of the next two?
That one
sessions?
would be put on. Like I say, everything will be wrapped up by year end.
Okay.
Okay? Any other business to come before the Board of E&R? Adjourn.